the Command Center for Enforcement of the Supreme People's Court of China, and I'm greeted today by Chief Judge Zhang Yongjian of the Supreme People's Court. Judge Zhang, thank you for having us today.
Glad to meet you. Welcome to the Supreme People's Court.
Thank you. It's an honor. It's my very first time. Indeed, and this is a very fascinating place with a huge screen. Tell us a bit, what is this Command Center and what are the responsibilities here?
So actually it's very impressive, I believe, and we have a lot of visitors from outside China, our colleagues from the foreign courts, and they are shocked. And
what are the shocking elements here?
Yeah, so actually, you see, it is supported by a very strong network and connected to all the courts in different provinces and different counties. All the courts are connected to this center, and it is also connected to the governmental agencies, the banks, and it is integrated and to form a very strong and powerful network.
This must be the biggest network in the world, because I know that we have something like 3,500 courts and then some 9,000 grassroots courts. We also have thousands of banks in China. Is it possible that everything has been included in this network?
Yeah, exactly. It's the largest system of this kind. And from this screen, from this page, you can see the case numbers, the information of cases we received, and the cases we concluded each and every minute. Yeah.
But what is the significance of having such a broad picture of what is going on in the legal system of China?
So actually, we have general pictures, and we are trying to take the effective measures to overcome the difficulties in the enforcement. And you see, last year in the National People's Congress, our President Zhou Qiang made a pledge to the deputies in the National People's Congress, and he said we will try to resolve the problems of the difficult enforcement in 2 or 3 years fundamentally.
Why is it so difficult to challenge the enforcement in China?
So the reasons are very complicated. From the angle of the society, you see, the level of the credibility, the whole society needs to be improved. And inside our court, we don't have enough hands, and we don't have the perfect mechanisms, and we don't have the efficient systems. So it's why we take measures that is question-oriented.
But having this kind of system, has it improved your efficiency?
Sure. So I just give you an example. The box on the corner, and it is for the trace of assets. You see, for some defaulters, they are not voluntarily to honor the judgments made by the court, and sometimes they escape the duties, and they hide away the assets. So it's very difficult for us to locate these assets, and this system will help you very easily to locate these assets, and then the enforcement could be done.
But my question is this: as the Supreme Court of China, aren't you taking care of the small things, the small details of the legal system? I mean, shouldn't you be looking at the bigger picture?
So actually, these things, the very big picture, but these tasks should be finished from the details. And actually, we have got a so-called blacklist system. Blacklist system, that means if a defaulter who is able to pay financially, but he refused to honor the judgments, then he will be taken into that blacklist. And this list, the information of list, is connected to a lot of offices, to a lot of departments, to banks, to the customs, to the CAAC offices, railway stations, and these defaulters will be restricted among a lot of things. They are kept away from the flights, kept away from the express trains, kept away from loans. They find very difficult to make activities in the society. Information technology is not only used in the enforcement of judgments, it is employed in many aspects, many fields of the business of the court. I believe that it will also impress you in a next spot.
Okay, I'm looking forward. Shall we go?
Okay. So now we are in the China Court Museum, and now we have the exhibition for the fruits and harvest of the judicial reforms. And I'd like to present to you this robot, and just as I told you, the information technology is widely used. This robot is for case filing, and because you see, for the case filing, a lot of common people come to the court, and we don't have personnel sometimes, and such kind of robots helps a lot.
So I see that the lack of personnel is really a big problem for the Chinese legal system. What other measures do you have to help liberate manual force?
So you see, the year of 2015 saw the transfer from the review system to the registry system for the case filing. And because of that, we bring the convenience to the people. It's easy for them to bring up a case to the court, and at the expense of the huge burdens for the court, and we need to enhance our efficiency. And to overcome such problems, we again employ such kind of technologies of information. For instance, I'd like to show you the vocal system.
Vocal system.
Vocal system. So it could recognize the words you utter, and then instantly it transfers your words into a script.
Okay, so basically it's like it replaces the work of a typewriter.
Yeah. The burden of the work saved by 30% around it is estimated
30%
for the judges.
Okay.
And while the employment of the technology, I'd say it's very impressive that we have some databases for the release of informations. Now we have 4 websites for the release of certain informations, and the most popular and the biggest in the world is the China Judgments Online.
What is the function of this website?
So this is just for the publication of the documents by all courts at all levels.
All over China?
All over China.
Okay.
And it is very popular. And up to today, you can see it is 6 trillion, more than 6 trillion visits.
Wow. One of the cases that really grabbed everybody's attention last year was this case of this wronged young man, unfortunate man, back in 1995. He was sentenced to death. He was actually executed because he was wrongly accused of some crime which he never committed, and his name is Nie Shubing. It was big news in China. How significant is that case in China's judicial reform?
So actually, you see, now we stick to the principle so-called the protection of human rights, and this principle is entrenched in our constitution. And I'd say several years ago it was often ignored, especially in the procedure of criminal cases. And now we put emphasis on the improvements of this kind, and a lot of regulations and interpretations have been issued to deal with such problems. And
so that's the courtroom picture while the case was being judged
heard, and it is now the presiding judge is announcing the judgments and say, okay, you are innocent.
How many back and forth, how many to and froing did it take for this case to eventually get the verdict that was correct?
So actually, it depends, different from case to case. And for this case, several petitions have been made, and finally it was corrected by the Supreme People's Court. And I'd like to mention that this case was judged by the Circuit Court.
Circuit Court.
Circuit Court of Supreme People's Court. And Circuit Courts, I'd say, is one of the important issues that we take during the judicial reforms.
I understand that we have circuit courts in the United States, or for instance, where the famous travel ban controversy was being played out. What is the difference between the Chinese circuit court and the foreign counterpart?
I don't think we have some similarities. Actually, it's a sub branch of Supreme People's Court.
So the circuit courts are the branches of the Supreme Court that have
exactly.
that have been located to the provincial levels.
You see, the circuit courts are very significant and of meaning a lot of things. We go to the local province or local places. We are closer to the common people. So they say there is a Supreme Court at the doorsteps, and we are closer to the disputes. So it's easy for them to clarify the facts and to make the correct directions. And they are closer to the localities, so they easily get themselves into the investigation of new issues and new problems that arise from the business activities. And what's more important, they are working with the innovation of new working mechanisms that is very efficient. Last year, the judges in the circuit courts, they conclude the cases 3 to 4 times more than their colleagues in the headquarters in Beijing.
Chief Justice Zhang, finally, what is the major difference between how Chinese courts function and how Western courts function?
So you see, as President Xi Jinping points out, the Chinese People's Court has a mission to have Chinese people the feeling of fair and justice in each and every single case. It is a principle entrenched by the Constitution. The Chinese People's Court will exercise its judicial power independently without being interfered by other persons or organizations, and we just follow this principle and do our job to the satisfaction of the people, we hope.
Thank you very much, Judge Zhang Yongjian from the Supreme People's Court. That's really eye-opening, and I hope all the best in your work in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.